Hey, Coach. Good to see you again. Just going back to Saturday, in terms of your defensive plan against McNeely, what did you think of him going in? What did you think of the way your guys defended him? Obviously, you had a comfortable victory, but he was able to get going at some times.
Yeah, you know what? We wanted Mike obviously to make everything tough for him. He is, he's one of the elite shooters in our league and probably in the country. I thought we did a decent job. I thought late he got available. I think early he started off and made one, and then he got available late. But he draws so much attention. He makes you extend your defense a little bit because he can shoot it out, shoot it from so far behind the 3-point line. Hadn't shot the ball great, and we wanted to make sure that we continued that. And I thought we were just okay with him. I thought he made some shots. Obviously, one of the things we talked about is making him deck the basketball instead of being able to shoot standstill shots, because he's elite at that when you do that.
And then, a year ago, he was kind of a catch and shoot guy primarily. This year, he's seems more comfortable with that mid-range jumper. How does that kind of add to his challenge?
Well, it's anytime you got a guy who can make shots, out to NBA line, because everybody's going to try to run him off the line, and you can get to a 1-2 dribble pull up. It makes it tough on your defense, and he has added that to his game, and being able to do that stuff. He's because of the fact that Beekman's playing so much point, which kind of moves him more into a more of a secondary ball handler guy. He's been improved in those areas.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
We'll go next to James Henderson. Go ahead, James.
Hey Kevin, how you doing today? Just wanted to ask you about Jaden Taylor and his defense, man. He's been really good for you guys. Just over your time at NC State in terms of guards, have you had many guys like him in terms of what he can do on the ball?
James, we have been so blessed in the last couple of years to have two guys who can really guard the basketball. Last year I was completely Jaquel Joyner who, could pick up 94 feet and turn guys and really get after it. And I think Jaden's kind of embraced that role. Wasn't always that way. What he talked about when he first got here, everything is about scoring. And we showed him a lot of clips of how Jaquel Joyner was able to defend the best, pick up pressure, defend the point guard from the other team, but also be able to score his points. And I think, now that we're into January in the ACC play, he's learned how to play on both ends of the floor, but he can really make it tough for you. He's got great size. He anticipates well, and he can turn you as we, get up and down the court. So he really fits into what we're trying to do defensively.
Thanks.
Thanks, James.
JC Zemble, you are up next.
Back-to-back defensive questions. What is it like to have three different legit post players that you could throw at an opposing center?
Well, it's good. Are you calling? It depends if you're calling DJ Burns a post defender. Uh, it's good. I think when we got different guys, JC, that can play different ways. I think the more physical guy in the post will probably be Ben, and then Mo can switch a lot of screens but confront you, and then DJ, obviously we try to get him sometimes just to use his size and make people shoot over you. But it is good to have some guys that can give you different looks. We got in our league, we have really good post players, and to have three different guys can play it different ways. And, you got guys like Quint Post who can step out and shoot it, Armando who's really good around the basket, PJ who can do both. And so it's good to have three different guys that can guard guys different ways.
I'll go next to Rob McLam. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, Kevin, I have two questions. First of all, this is kind of new frontiers, 3-0 going into this game. Have you spoken about that in the rivalry, or do you just strip it down and keep it simple?
No, these guys don't know about believe it or not, they don't know stats as we do. They don't follow it as much as we do. All they looking at is that Rob, that we just won our last game. And so we'll talk about, the one thing I've been able to do with this group is focus in on who we're playing next. And obviously, the next opponent is Carolina. But we won't talk about, hey, you've won this many games and haven't done that since then. We're proud that, you look at the way we've done it so far, it's been really good, 2 road games, and you know, being able to come back and take care of home court against a very good Virginia team says a lot, and we just want to build on that.
And my follow-up, sir, the three teams that you lost to, they all seem to be doing really well. I know Tennessee just put it on Ole Miss. How does that bode for you guys? First of all, is that good for the net? I don't know a lot about the net, but is that good for you guys? And then I'm not a net aficionado, I'll admit it. And then the second, does that sort of tell you, hey, we're not far away?
Well, I don't know, Rob, you're asking the wrong man about the net after being left out a few years ago with 32 nets. So I don't have any idea if that helps us or hurt us. But what I will say it does show us that, you know, that you know, we can play different type of games against different type of people. And, you know, the three teams that we lost to, we think that they're really good basketball teams. It would have been better if we beat them. I know that would have helped our net, but you know, it shows our guys that we've grown. And you know, you think about the non-conference, you play a competitive non-conference to prepare you for ACC play, and I think those three teams have really prepared us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Kip Coons, go ahead, sir.
Morning, Kevin. One thing I noticed Saturday in your game, you don't often play pair two of your bigs together. At least you didn't against Virginia. I don't know if it was matchups or not, but with your 4-guard lineup, is that sustainable for you for the course of the season, or do you need to kind of adapt and use two of your bigs together and maybe give up some of that perimeter offense?
Yeah, that depends on the opponent. I think if you go back to our Boston College game, we ended up starting, you know, both DJ and Ben together because obviously, you know, the two bigs that they have, some of it will come down to matchups. What I like about it is that we do have the ability to play big. Typically, you know, we've got 4 guards and we don't have a bigger 4-man that's a physical guy that we can play. So a lot of that will come down to depending on who we play and how we match up. And that's both offensively and defensively.
Go next to Jaden Watson Fisher. Go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, obviously, Carolina is a big matchup, you know, a really experienced opponent. You know, what do you think you can bring to the game that can kind of challenge the Tar Heels?
Well, I think they're a good basketball team. You know, when you look at the numbers, they're playing really well. It's hard to believe that RJ Davis is playing his best basketball because he's played well every year. But he is. He's playing really good basketball, and Armando's kind of gotten going. You know, last game with 16 points and 14 rebounds. But I think what the good thing about this team is when you look at them, they're really good at every position. You know, I think we have to play NC State basketball. We have to do a good job. Probably against Virginia, we did a great job of moving the basketball and, you know, playing inside out. You know, obviously we've got a really good post player in DJ Burns so we can play through. But I think the biggest thing for us is just staying the course and doing the things that we do well.
David Teal, go ahead.
Kevin, after the game Saturday, Tony mentioned your team's physical toughness. And I think you guys had 5 and 1s where you were able to absorb a foul, finish. What did this team strike you as that type of roster as you went about preseason?
You know, we have, David, we have developed toughness from the preseason in the summer until now. And then our guys are believing in one another. And, you know, we've talked about, you know, one of the things that we talked about with this team is we got to figure out how to get to the free throw line. Early in the year, I think everything was outside of the paint, and it was either DJ Burns scoring inside and everybody else taking a three. And so now we got some guys who are committed to driving the basketball. And, you know, we really have done a good job of working on finishing. You know, today's basketball, everybody likes to play off of 1 foot and hopefully that it works out. And, you know, we've talked about, you know, being strong and making some plays. And I think that's helped our basketball team just to be able to get to the paint and play kind of inside out and finish around the rim.
And then as you prepare for Carolina, And obviously Cadeau was a high level recruit, but his assist to turnover ratio for a freshman, I think it's almost 3-1 this season. As you look at him on video, what are your observations?
Well, he's really, really talented. And you know, when you see freshmen, you know, the one thing that they don't do is they don't take care of the basketball. Well, that's not the case in his situation. And he's playing he's playing really good basketball. And I think what's happened is because he's playing so well, it's allowed RJ to be able to go and be what he is, a natural scorer. But you know, one thing I would say, he's playing enough basketball that he won't get rattled. You know, we'll try to get after him as we play every guard that we play, but he's matured and he's one of those guys similar to Dennis Parker as a freshman for us that you can see now that it's January, they're more comfortable and they're doing better things as freshmen now.
Got time for one more question, and we'll go back to JC Zemple.
Sometimes it can be hard to find consistency, but do you think that second half against Virginia kind of gave the players a blueprint of what the formula could look like?
You know, I think we were committed to making sure that we finished we played the second half the way we finished the first half. You know, if you look at it, we were a little slow getting going, didn't play well offensively at Notre Dame after coming off the break. And then once we got going, but I think what happened is the ball JC didn't stick. You know, we played inside out, we moved the basketball. And against a good Virginia team, you know, we talked about this. If you're trying to play one-on-one, it never works in your favor. And I think, you know, our guys followed the scouting report, especially offensively, where we had a lot of player and ball movement. So when we play that way and everybody's able to touch the basketball, we can be a really good basketball team.